Hi everybody, Tony from Hearns on the home stretch of the team associated YZ-10 build. As I've said in previous iterations of this is a rebadged version of the Yokomo YZ-870C Super Dogfighter. It's pretty much the same all the way through, but for you associated fanboys, this is the car you want. Put that over there. Let's get going. As you can see here, we've got most of the car done now. So today, moving on to the shocks. Now, shocks are boring as hell for you to watch me build. Actually, most of the things that I build are boring for you. So, already built 3 of them. Built them off camera just before. That way, you've only got to get bored watching me do one of them. Relatively simple to do. There's certainly nothing groundbreaking on these. Tiny little O-ring goes on first. You want to be careful. Just ease that over the threads. You don't want to cut the O-ring at any stage. These are alloy bodied shocks. Quite nice actually. Now, everyone does this differently. Brett sticks his finger in and mushes it all around. Oh, I'm not keen on that. I'll just use a flat bladed screwdriver. Put some of the goop around. First O-ring goes in. A little bit more goop on here. And push that down. Doesn't have to be perfect because the spacer will seat that. A bit more goop on the middle of that. Push it down. This particular one I'm using is XTR O-ring blue grease. There's a multitude of different ones from different manufacturers. They all do a similar job. If you're an associated man, you'll be using green slime. You can see here we've got more than enough on there. The end cap on here. Just finger tight is more than enough with that. I've pre-assembled the piston onto the shock shaft. These are tiny, tiny little E-clips and they were a real pain to get on. Lost them a couple of times, ferreting around underneath the desk to find them. They're okay now. That's why I did them beforehand, so you didn't have to go through the pain of watching that. This now goes through here. Just some gentle force, and I like to turn it a little bit to try and get it through. There we go. Of course, we've got some of the shock lube on the end. I like to leave a little bit on because it makes it easier to put the ball end on. Let's just move that up and down, make sure it feels all right. Now, I've mentioned these before. These are the JP RC shock pliers. I resisted getting shock pliers for years and years and years. And it was only when I started building cars here on camera that I actually started using shock pliers, and they are like the best thing ever. If you don't have any, get some. It just makes it so much easier. We'll just screw that sucker on. Easy. Now, front and rear shocks are different sizes on this car, as are the shock shaft. Just double check at the start of each section to make sure you've got the right ones. There we go. That's in. And These are also great. I'm using this part here that engages in the ball end, and there's a hole in this side, and I just push that through. It makes it so easy. Can't remember how much these are. They're under 50 bucks. Well worth it. Really, really good. Okay. Now, before we go any further, I know we need to put this O-ring on here. That seals the shock cap. So that's ready. Feel that, nice smooth, that's good. Different shock oils, 400 for the front, which is this is the front shock, and 300 for the rear. We're just going to half fill it, move it up and down a few times to help get the air out. Now a little bit more. I usually have 2 or 3 fills. Keep moving it up and down. Now, normally on a shock build, I would do this a few times, then leave it for maybe 20 minutes or so, just to make sure the last of the air is out. In this case, I'm not going to. I'm pretty confident that it's all right. Now, I built the other 3, and these, I've noted that these were a little bit of a bugger to bleed. I was getting an awful lot of rebound. I had to bleed them 2 or 3 times. So I'm just going to screw it on very lightly. And now do it up. Yeah. I actually think it might need just a tiny bit more oil, because at the very top of the stroke it wasn't quite right. So we'll just top that up a bit, and again we've got a bit of air in there. It's foaming a bit. That's not too bad now. Just barely screw the top on, slowly compress the piston, and do it up. Yep, happy with that. That actually worked better than most of the other ones. I've got a little bit of blow by up here, and that's acceptable. That's what I'd expect. That's good. Shock collar goes on next. That doesn't feel right. There's just such a fine thread. It's very easy to get it wrong. There we go. The tolerance on these is actually quite nice. No, not too tight, so you can do it up by hand. Some of these are really difficult. I find the ones with the rubber O-rings inside are always really hard. I'll screw that up to about here. I've got a spring. Actually, I'll move that out of the way. The chances are I'll stick my fingers in it at some stage. Shock collar on. Push that down. That gives us 1, 2, 3, 4 shocks. They're ready to go. Let's go on to the next page. The first part is what I've already done. Let's grab the chassis. We've got all the hardware here. We've already got the upper shock mounts there. So there's the shock adapter, there's this part. That goes on. Then the shock itself. There's an M3 locker nut. Where are we? Using the 9 steps tools, a little bit of a plug there. These are actually pretty good. For the price, it's hard to beat. Okay, we need a spacer and an M3x22 screw. We'll put the screw through here, then the spacer. I'll need to pick the kit up, and this is going on the inner mount. Let's put that there. 3mm, 3mm. Trying to hold this while searching for the right wrench in the other hand. There we go. Better move this in here so you can see. Man, there's a big long screw. That's that done. Back to the M3 lock nut. Done. One front shock done. Let's move on to the other one. I'm not sure how these compared to the shocks that came on the originals. I don't know whether they were alloy or not. My experience with the well, obviously with YZ-10s it was nil, but even with the Yokomo YZ-870C, the Super Doggy, I never really had much to do with them. I think, as I mentioned before, I was a Kyosho man at that time. Let's get this done, get the space, get the screw. Again, it's with the inner one. It's much easier upside down. It is a big long screw, but it's probably not a bad idea. It means your bottom mount is very, very stable. Done. Let's go to the rear. While I've got it upside down, we'll do the same thing again. It's a spacer. Again, there's 2 mounting holes, and again it's the inner one that gets used. I've got a system going here. This is going along at a great rate of knots. Happy with this. If you're looking to potentially purchase a YZ-10, this particular kit will be available for sale in the Hearns vault. Probably appear on the website sometime in the next week or so. Might even be on the Hearns vault website before this video goes live. So if you want a car built by me, or you just want a decent car instead, you'll be able to buy this one. At least most of the hard work's done, and I'll vouch for most of the assembly. Not all of it, but most of it's pretty good. This is probably particularly good if you just want a shelf car. Or if you want to just say to your mates, hey, Tony and Hearns built this car. Man, it's shit. Thought he knew something. But no, up to you. But it will be available at some stage. And it's probably the, so I said, we've only got maybe one YZ-10 kit left out of the 20 or so that we had. So this is the last. There won't be any more, I don't think. Associated are going to re-release it. It's just a one-off one, this, because I don't think it's something that Associated are particularly keen to reproduce, given that it's a Yokomo car anyway. Let's get all these on. Alright, oh, it's a bit too tight. You want a little bit of movement here. You don't want it cranked right up. Let's get all this over here. Shocks are on. Alright, let's get into bag 8. Where's that hobby knife? Here it is. Now, here's the stuff for bag 8. We've got the battery box, servo horn and mount. Well, we're not going to put a servo in this car. There's no need for that. But I'll mount this up anyway. Let's see where this goes. Gee, this is very similar to something, to one of the newer Yokomos that I just finished building. I think it's been upgraded a bit from the original design. Where's that 2mm? There it is. Just going to put that in there. We're getting near the end now. A few more bits. This goes there, and the round section goes there. Another M3x8. So whoever buys this kit, the servo assembly is done for you at least. We'll just put in some of those flathead ones from underneath, just to hold it in. This goes over there. Screw that in. Couple more here. We put in. These are the servo mounts. Normally I would thread lock these, but the whole thing will probably need to come out if someone actually puts a servo in there, so we won't bother. Okay. Okay, servo mounts in. This section here, they're showing the electronics going in. We're obviously not putting electronics in this car. Battery mounts. Let's just pull that off, and this. Oh, we need to trim that off just to make it look a little bit neater. There we go. And that will be a couple of these M3x8 countersunk. They call them flathead. For me it's a countersunk. I think for most of you that would be the same. Turn that around. It's a little bit hard to line this up. Where are we? There we go, that's the first one. This is the second one. Again, I'm not too familiar what the original configuration was for the battery mounts, but I suspect this is like the Super Doggy in that they've modified it so that it will take today's batteries, which makes sense. I think a shorty pack in this, I think we use shorty packs in Brett's Super Doggy, and that's perfectly fine. So now get that in there. I will confess at home I use a power screwdriver for this, but I'm doing the kits at home, I usually do them all in one go. So by the end of it, your wrist is really, really tired. Here, we do it the way you see it. So this is a probably a 3-hour build, divided into 3 sections. That's done. Now I'm going to suggest that, yep, this will require a 1.5. Let's screw this man in. Oh, I hear someone sneaking in.
No sneaking about it.
No sneaking at all. Look, we're nearly done on this.
Pants off in the studio. Oh, we've got shocks on now, mate.
We've got shocks on there, and you were right. They're not fun to bleed. No.
But they do have the optional extras now. So they do have alloy cap with a typical emulsion bleed screw.
Okay, yeah.
As an option. The shock itself is good, but with no bladder, they're just a bit tricky to bleed up.
Yeah, I had to do each one 3 or 4 times to get it to the point where there wasn't a massive rebound on the thing.
That's right. And then if you go too far, then it's got air in it. Then you got to take it all apart, fill it again.
Yeah. So
not what you want on race day.
No,
so it's not really a.
I suspect it's still a whole lot better than what the original shocks were. So
crap by all accounts.
Yeah.
They had to even put AE ones on them at some point.
I seem to recall Mr. Birtle's cars all had AE shocks on them, but from him I'm not surprised. We're right at the end of this here now.
Yeah, look, I can't see much left to do other than put some wheels on it.
Yeah, well we've got some.
I went ahead and put the tyres on for you.
Yeah, you were good like that.
It's my favourite part.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah. I can't say it excites me all that much, but
is it better than turnbuckles?
Anything's better than turnbuckles.
Better than turnbuckles.
Anything is better than turnbuckles.
Another Hearns exclusive Hearns Vault build, hey?
I did mention before that once I'm done with this, it'll be on the Hearns Vault. So if anyone wants a TFG built car, so they can look at
Strip it apart
and fix it because it's really, really bad.
No.
It's not that bad. I've done much
These
worse.
are a little bit awkward, aren't they?
They're a lot awkward. In fact, I'm just going to leave
wiring in there and motor and...
Yeah. I'm just not...
Fingers.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I can attest to that. Yeah, I'm not going to bother cutting the body and all that stuff.
We can without the top deck. Yeah. I'm used to seeing my one because it's got the Berserk top deck on it now.
A top deck. Top deck. That's
the reason I had that. That's from Unfair. That's from Berserk actually.
Yeah.
Is because it's direct mount, comes with the screws.
Yep.
And see this flex here, mate.
Yeah, that's got massive.
What that does is when it flicks the front belt off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So twice you can have a minor incident, like get a jump wrong or something, and the belt will flick off. So that's why I put the top deck on, not for any other reason.
Admit the top deck on my Yokomo RS-10 does improve things
dramatically.
Yes.
Yeah. That's an Unfair one. Yeah, yes. Young Surian drew that up with Brenton.
Did he?
And
so Surian is actually useful.
Yes. Because my first iteration of a top deck was just a turnbuckle from across the top.
Yeah, but that still works.
In 3 pieces. It did work. Got us out of trouble.
I'm just going to screw these on.
They're a good thing.
They're a good thing.
How impressed are you with your 9 Steps tools?
I actually just mentioned them about 10 minutes ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Said value for money. They're pretty damn good. They're pretty damn good.
Pretty, they're really nice to build with.
Yeah, they just do the job. I mean, I've got some of the extremely expensive. Actually, I'm not all that impressed with the extremely expensive ones. Some of them.
Really? I've got some Aramax ones and I love them. But if I am doing an 8 scale build, I will break out the 9 Steps. Just because the knurling's nicer than that.
I have some Aramax ones. I've also got some Hootie ones that I don't like.
Really? Well, I'm not surprised.
No,
I'm not surprised.
I was extremely disappointed. I'm thinking, the amount of money these cost, they should be wonderful, and they were less than one.
The car for you.
Yeah, I expect Martin or Durage to come and actually build it for me, and they didn't. They didn't at all.
I still like the pink wheels.
Yeah, you and I are both.
Love a bit of pink.
We like our pink bits. Let's be honest. Pink wheels with pink tyres.
Pink donuts. That's another thing that we like.
We haven't got any donuts today.
No, it's been a while. We've had a
week. No, it wasn't.
Off.
I bought them last week.
Yeah, that's right. It's been a week.
Yeah.
I think I'm better for it.
Actually, that's not true. Steve bought some in on Wednesday.
Did he?
Yeah.
Cheeky bugger.
Did he not tell you?
No.
Oh. He doesn't like you.
No, that's okay.
That's all right. No one really does.
I'm used to it.
I only come in because I feel pity for you.
You must know my wife. She's in the same boat.
Yeah.
I actually like the wheels. I haven't seen the white wheels screwed up before. They actually complement the bulkhead caps and stuff. Really nice in the plastics, actually.
I just love these big chunky
squares.
The squares.
We're just so used to calling them hexes, right?
Yeah. I just like they were just so cool. I mean, but they weigh a ton, so the rotating mass is horrible.
Yeah, but that wasn't a thing back then. And they are machined to alloy.
Yeah, and they could be
like cast.
Nah, but
that said, the original ones were probably cast.
Yeah, they were probably.
No,
they might have been magnesium, the original ones.
Cast magnesium, I dare say.
Yeah,
because they wouldn't have had the machining like today's automated CNCs.
Well, nowadays you can get a CNC for home for like $400.
That sounds like a good time.
It does,
doesn't it? That sounds like fun.
Or you can get one off Temu for like $50 and it'll be shit.
Temu. You and your Temu.
Temu rocks. You can buy.
You bought any shoes this week?
No. I have not.
Forward to your
I haven't.
Temu shoe adventures.
No, those ones that I brought, I only wore them a couple of times and then threw them in the bin. But I don't care. The ones I've got on today are much more expensive, and they didn't come from Temu. Look at, I'm just ripping through this.
Masterful.
And by the dubious use of editing,
Yep.
No one will realise that I actually stepped out of here for 5 minutes to go and have a pee earlier.
I hope you took the microphone off.
No, I left it on.
Oh, that's all right.
But I did alert the editor that we need to do that. So I thought that was. I thought, no, I can't wait. I can sit here and wee down my leg, but it's not a good. That's a YZ-10.
That is a YZ-10. That is a TFG built YZ-10.
A YZ-10. Everything pretty much ready to go. I've noticed that these bits here look like bits off my RS 1.0.
I think the diff housings are very similar too.
Yeah. So I'm building and I'm going, I've built this before last week.
It's impressive, isn't it, that the RS one actually has alloy outdrives on the diffs. I don't know if you notice that hard aluminium anodized alloy.
It's a fine thing.
Really nice. I love it. Well,
look
congratulations.
We've done that. That's the last one, 32. So that's like the whole car was built in 2.5 hours. That's not a complicated car.
That's good. Well, that's the way they used to be.
Because I can't. My attention span does not go for 2.5 hours.
And that's with E-clips and everything. Imagine if it had proper hinge pins.
Yeah, it would have been. It would have been a lot quicker. Yeah, you're right. It's very, very simple, but they work.
Lightweight. You notice when you build it, like how light it is. Even the electronics end, it's about 400 grams in anything modern.
It's nice. It's nice for me to acquaint myself with these cars. I've mentioned during the build that I didn't really have much to do with these, but now I have. Now I've built one, and you'll be able to buy it.
Fantastic, guys.
I think we're done.
Tony from Hearns.
Yeah, I am, and you're Brett from Hearns.
From Hearns.
And
thanks for watching TFG.
We're going to go out and serve some customers if there are any.
Why not?
Yeah, done.
Thanks for watching, guys.